All right, so today, the video that I want to talk about, I'm actually really excited. I'm kind of curious to see how this video is going to go down. Now, if you guys have been following me for a while, you will know that I have loose skin from losing 180 pounds. This is not at all a secret. And it's one of, if not the most asked questions whenever I'm, doing a live stream, whenever I am doing a Q&A, people ask about loose skin. How can I maybe not get as much loose skin? What can I do to mitigate loose skin? Like, is there a way to make it not happen? Like, this is a very common and popular topic that I deal with, right? It's so many people. Now, over the past few years, a thing called autophagy has become very popular. I would say the person that's popularized it the most is Dr. Jason Fung, who is a very big, I believe it's like he's a very big keto and intermittent fasting advocate. So that's what he really promotes is like, if you do these things, like you can mitigate your loose skin through autophagy. Now, if you're not familiar with what autophagy is, we'll put a description somewhere and you guys will know. But if you don't, I would look it up as well. But it's basically a way that your body can maybe get rid of the cells that will cause the loose skin. And so a lot of people are interested in this when they hear about it, like autophagy. Wow, that sounds really interesting. So this video was actually brought to my attention by my friend Rachel. Now I want to make it clear, like Rachel, now she doesn't know that I'm going to say this, so I apologize, Rachel, but Rachel is actually someone that has done keto in the past. She might be doing it right now. So she's not like someone that's like, I hate keto. It certainly is not her stance at all. But I think, again, I'm speaking for her, but I know that she is someone that, for her, truth is the most important thing. So she doesn't like that with keto, there are people that might be pushing something that might not necessarily be true, because again, that makes everything look bad, right? If you start promoting something that isn't necessarily true, giving false hope, like it's just not necessary, right? And so this video she brought to my attention. Now, so the title of this video right here is called Loose Skin After 207-Pound Keto Weight Loss. Autophagy is not enough. 1 year comparison. And this is from the YouTuber Keto Chaos. Now, I've never watched any of her videos. I haven't watched this full video. I got kind of a brief rundown from my friend Rachel, but I'm kind of curious to go over this and see what she has to say, because I am actually genuinely interested in what she has to say about this.
Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Keto and the Chaos. My name is Tammy, and on this channel, I like to talk about how I lost 207 pounds without surgery and how you can be successful on your own weight loss journey. So if that's what you're looking for, don't forget to click the subscribe button and ring the bell for more videos like this one to inspire you to get started.
Dude, 270 pounds is a lot of weight. Like, that's a lot.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to a surprise video from Keto and the Chaos for you guys today. I have been wanting to do this video for a couple of months now, and I have been putting it off for various reasons, I'm sure that you can imagine. Firstly, it's really hard for me to get in front of the camera and show my loose skin.
Now, I want to make it very clear. Like, props to her for doing this, because it's not an easy thing. Like, it really, really isn't. Like, it really is. It's really hard to put yourself out there. Like, I remember the first time I made the loose skin video, like I was very nervous, right? And she's going even more in depth than I did in my first video. So I think that this is like really brave of her to do. I'm gonna speed it up just a tad, just so we're not,
When I do that, I really have to face up to what the situation is like. I can't ignore it. I can't cover it up. I can't hide it. And it's both good and bad for me to see where I am at this point in my weight loss journey. Now, I don't know if you guys...
So before we even get like too far into this, I want to share my opinion and like my reality with loose skin. Like, so for anyone out there that might be curious, like I genuinely believe that if you are losing a significant amount of weight, and that number is going to be different for anyone, right? Like a significant amount of weight could be 80 pounds if you are someone that's 4'11", that isn't very tall, right? Like that could be a significant amount of weight to you. Or that could be 200 pounds if you're, 6'5", right? Like it's relative on the person. But when I say significant amount of weight, usually I'm 80 pounds or more, right? Regardless of who you are, maybe if you're really tall, you might not have loose skin from that. But if you are losing a significant amount of weight, like loose skin is just part of the process. Like it just does happen. A lot of people will be like, oh, if you lose weight too fast, that's why you get loose skin. Or if you lose weight because of this or that or that. Like if you are losing a significant amount of weight, you will have loose skin. That's my opinion. That's what I believe. That's what I have seen with hundreds of people that I've talked to that have lost a lot of weight, and obviously myself included in that.
You guys remember, but last year I did a video where I showed my loose skin after a 200-pound weight loss. I am now only down about 7 more pounds, and I have had another year of intermittent fasting / autophagy under my belt. I am taking advantage of autophagy in 2 different ways. I am taking advantage of it by having a minimum of 15-hour fast every single day. And
so for you guys that, I just want to explain for people that might not know this stuff. So when she's talking about intermittent fasting, basically what that means is that, so she said 15 hours. So she is not eating for 15 hours out of the day, which leaves 9 hours, I believe. Pretty sure that's the math. So that leaves her 9 hours in a day to eat. Okay, so she's fasting for 15 hours in a day, and she is allowing herself to eat for 9 hours, and apparently she is doing keto as well, so she's a lot higher fat than maybe another diet would have.
And I'm also taking advantage of it by having a caloric restriction. I've had pretty much a caloric restriction for the past almost 4 years. There have been times where I've tried to eat maintenance calories, so obviously it's not 100% across the board. BioLane says that caloric restriction has almost as much stimulation to autophagy as intermittent fasting or any kind of fasting. And I don't really get all of the sciencey part of it, but he basically says intermittent fasting doesn't really give you a lot of benefits unless it's being used to get you a caloric restriction.
So what she's talking about there, so BioLane is Lane Norton, who is he's a pretty well-known like doctor that talks a lot about weight loss and fitness and all of this stuff. So basically what he's saying there is that to get the benefits of autophagy or the benefits of intermittent fasting, that you can get the same thing by just being in a caloric deficit, okay? So like where the benefits are with a lot of these things, he is saying that it's because you're in a deficit and you just so happen to be doing intermittent fasting, and it's not the intermittent fasting that is causing you to make these great things that are happening. It's actually the caloric deficit that's causing that thing, and you are just so you are seeing the results because you're doing intermittent fasting, but the results are coming from being in a deficit, okay?
So as I am now coming out of a caloric restriction and trying to find my maintenance level, I'm also trying to push my eating window out. I have found that it's really difficult. I'm in a lot of habit formed of eating really late in the day, and of course my window is always really late in the day anyway, and I'm trying to push my earlier meal up a little bit in order to decrease my fasting window. I'm just going to be trying to eliminate intermittent fasting from my repertoire at this point because I really do not have any reason to be using it. I do not feel that the autophagy that I gained from intermittent fasting and or caloric restriction has had any effect at all or any bearing on my loose skin and the situation that I am in after losing this much weight. I truly believe that the only way to eliminate my skin is to have surgery, and I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to afford that. Someday, maybe. Right now, it's not in the near and future plans. I know last year I said I would consider maybe doing some of it this year, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen, and 2020 has been crazy anyway. I don't even want to go anywhere near a hospital right now, so that's kind of part of it. Next year, we've got a lot going on with my daughter, and
I mean, yeah, 2020 has obviously been crazy, and like this is a big reason why I think it's important for more people to talk about loose skin and more people to talk about this stuff, is because when we start like making these claims that if you just eat this way, you won't have any loose skin, and then the fact is that if someone eats that way and they still have loose skin, they feel like they did something wrong, or they feel like there is something wrong with them. When in reality, it's just, no, you lost a lot of weight, so you're gonna have loose skin. Like it's part of the process. Like it's how it works, you know? And so I think it's so awesome that she is talking about this, and like she is being like, hey, like I might not be able to get the surgery. Obviously it seems pretty obvious that she would like it, and I hope that eventually she's able to do that, but the surgery is freaking expensive as crap, and like it's a really invasive surgery as well. So like I understand why, you know, like for her getting the surgery isn't number one priority.
So probably I won't be doing it or considering it until 2022. So I don't know exactly where I'm going to be sitting.
Also, I just saw this comment. So this is from Rachel. She said, exactly, it's very rare that you lose a significant amount and not have loose skin. And I think that's important. That's an important distinction. So I appreciate that, Rachel. I don't want to say it's impossible, because there are always outliers to everything, but the vast majority, okay, I should say that, the vast majority of people that lose a significant amount of weight are going to have loose skin. There might be outliers, but that is not the common thing that happens. So I appreciate that, Rachel.
Weight-wise, at that point, maybe I will have maintained exactly the same situation, but I will try and, well, I will of course do updated loose skin videos for you as I change my dietary things, so that you guys can see whether or not doing intermittent fasting had any bearing on my skin and how it looks.
I think that's really cool that she wants to do that, like kind of sharing like, oh, I'll do this type of diet and see if it has any effect on my loose skin. I've thought about doing that stuff, but like the more that I've had this weight off and the more that no matter what I do, my skin stays the same, the more I was just like, personally, I was like, it's kind of pointless, because every time I would say, if I tried a new diet for a few months and my skin doesn't change, like it just kind of seemed like a moot point. Like my skin is the way that it is. Like, has it changed a little bit since I have gained muscle and stuff? A little bit, but it's not like I've had a huge shift in what my skin looks like. Like it is the way it is, you know? But I'm not saying that she shouldn't do what she wants to do. I think that can be a really cool idea.
Now, granted, I do not do anything else to really eliminate my loose skin. I don't do any kind of derma rolling or dry brushing. I do exfoliate once a week after the bath, and that's kind of my ritual, part of what I do. I've always just kind of done that. I also occasionally consume collagen, but not regularly. I do.
So these are all little other ways that you can like help with loose skin, like derma rolling, dry brushing, collagen. All of these things I'm sure can help a little bit, but like when you have, like, I'm assuming she has a good amount of loose skin if she's lost 207 pounds. If you looked at the thumbnail of this video, like she obviously does. Like same thing with me. Like those things are not gonna do much when you have the amount of loose skin that we have. Like it's just like it's just like it's not gonna do that much. It just isn't. You know, that's just the reality of the situation. Like maybe if you have a little bit, it might help. But like if you have the amount that we have, it's kind of like, I mean, you can do it, but like it's not gonna make it go away. Like it just isn't.
Do not take biotin. I don't take anything except ritual vitamins and my electrolytes. So I don't really have any like dietary things that I've tried. Suggest it all you want. I'm not going to do it. It's just, there's no way that anything I'm going to consume or do is going to have enough bearing on the amount of loose skin that I have. Literally, there's not any way that it would ever make enough of a difference to make it worth it to me to worry about that.
Well, there you go. I shouldn't have cut her off. She said exactly what I was going to say.
So comment all you want, but I'm not probably going to even respond. I don't know if I'm going to respond to a lot of comments on this video. On my last video, I had literally hundreds of comments saying, why don't you do autophagy? Why don't you fast? And I'm like, I do. I have been from the beginning, which if you had barely come to my channel, you come right on here and see my video and then you comment without even knowing the situation that I'm in and how I got there and anything else. So if you are new to my channel, I would love it if you could watch some of the videos that I have up in my playlist. I have lots of playlists for you that kind of give you an idea of where I came from. But suffice it,
she's getting sassy right now. I see it. I see how you are.
To say, I began a ketogenic way of eating on January 1st, 2017 at 374 pounds. This past week, I hit my new low weight of 167.4, which is basically 207 pounds lost.
Now, I want to make it clear, and I guarantee if I were to look at some of the comments, and I'm sure some of the comments even on this live stream, I'm sure people would be like, oh, well, she only fasted for 15 hours. You should have fasted for this many hours, or you should have done this type of keto, or you should have done this thing. It's just like, dude, it's literally never enough. Like, say if someone was like, hey, I fasted for 20 hours a day and the autophagy didn't work. People are like, well, you should have fasted for 24 hours, or you should have fasted for 2 days every week. Or it's like, when is it ever going to be enough? Like anytime I've seen people talk about this stuff, it's always like, well, you should have fasted for this long. You should have fasted for this long. You should have done this. You should have done that. It's like, what? Is there ever a point where it's enough for anyone? Like, it just feels like it's never enough.
Almost 206 point whatever. And so I like to round up. Who cares anyways, right? At this point, 200 is like, who cares? Give or take half a pound. It doesn't really matter at this point. Anyway, I used a keto way of eating and intermittent fasting to lose my weight. But basically, I lost weight through caloric restriction that keto and intermittent fasting allowed me to create in my life and to have control over. I have had bouts where I did not restrict calories, but I stayed keto. And now currently I am no longer in ketosis. I have re-added carbs back into my diet, but I am still in somewhat of a caloric restriction, working my way toward maintenance. So you can see in the video,
she does a great job of explaining herself, you know, like she obviously has a lot of knowledge, and she is able to explain herself what she's doing a lot better than I do. Sometimes I kind of trip around my words, but she really definitely, you can tell she understands what she's doing. And like the thing I think that, like, I don't know what her background is, but like the information she has, anybody can get this information, okay? Like this is the information I have as well. Like this information she's got, I can almost probably tell who she follows. Like the fact that she said she followed Lay Norton and all this stuff, like those people will give you this information and it won't cost you anything, and you'll be able to, like, she is making these decisions for herself without a coach, I'm assuming, and like it seems to be the right decisions because she's just done some research. Like this is why I love making these types of videos, because like this stuff is free. It's out there, and like you can have the amount of knowledge that she has, and I guarantee she could probably help someone lose weight right now if they wanted to, just from this knowledge that she has found for herself, right? For completely for free.
In the videos, whether or not me adding carbs in has made me extra puffy or whatever too, because like it hasn't, and in fact it's had the opposite effect. So there's lots of things in this video that I'm kind of flying in the face of. I am still a 100% a keto advocate. Anything that helps you get your caloric restriction, I am all for that. Same for intermittent fasting. If that helps you to have control over your calories and to really succeed in your weight loss journey, I am all for it. But as for me and myself now, I think at this point, after seeing the results from this last year, eating part of the time maintenance calories, part of the time cut calories, and staying keto and staying intermittent fasting the entire time, I suffice to say, I don't see the benefit of doing those things anymore for my personal journey, and I am now moving to a different thing. So
this is really, really good. Also, I have to acknowledge this comment right here. Anytime I post my loose skin on my Instagram, I get at least 10 messages from MLM Huns telling me they have a magic thing that will make it go away. Dude, that stuff is so frustrating, and I'm telling you right now, like any topical cream, any supplement that anyone tries to sell you to get rid of your loose skin, it's a scam. Like, it is a scam. Do not spend your money on that. That person is just trying to pull the wool over your eyes and make money off of you. Like, none of that stuff works. I'm telling you right now. Like, none of it works. MLM is multi-level marketing. That's what that stands for.
So, that being said, let us get to the footage, and I will be showing you the footage from last year and this year side by side, so you guys can see the difference in both my weight, which I definitely have decreased. I can't believe it's only 7 pounds. To me, it's like a shocking difference. In just 1 year and only 7 pounds lost, to see that happening is like crazy. But you'll also see that, in my opinion, the loose skin issues are even worse after losing even more weight and have not improved, at least not dramatically enough to make it worth it to worry about using fasting, autophagy, or whatever. So that being said, let's get to the footage. Okay, so as you can see, I am trying to show you.
Oh, so I want to make it clear that this is not... The left side is apparently where only the audio is coming from now. So it's not the stream, it's not my video, it's her video. So just want to make it clear there, okay?
How my skin compares from last year and this year. It's really hard because the lighting was a little bit different. You can see a lot more definition in my arms now. You can see I've definitely lost some arm fat. The lighting makes it look like my skin looks a lot better. So admittedly, I have to admit here that I think that my arms may have improved a little bit. I can't say whether it's autophagy or just fat loss. You can see a lot more. You can see I have a lot more muscle definition.
So yeah, this is kind of hard because this video, the light is in front of her, and this video, the light is behind her. So in this one, the before, this is going to give you a better look at like what you're seeing, right? Because you can see all of the wrinkles, you can see everything a little bit better, and it looks like she does have a little bit more fat down here. Now, when you have extra fat, like your loose skin will be like this. So this has a little bit more fat in it, okay? So it looks thicker, right? Like it looks like it's thicker, but she definitely does, like when she showed a little bit earlier, like she definitely does have more definition in her arms. And when you do have more muscle in your arms, like your arms look better, right? Like they just do. And like the loose skin won't look as bad. Like I've noticed in my arms as well, like the fact that I have more muscle in my arms, my loose skin does not hang as much. So yeah.
In my arms now, and a lot less width in my skin, and it doesn't actually hang down as far. The crepiness, it's hard to tell if the crepiness is worse or better with this lighting. I'm still really self-conscious. You can see the crepiness is still there. I'm going to pinch it a little bit here in a minute and show you. But yeah, so like the crepiness is really bothering me.
Yeah, so my arms don't look like this, but this is almost exactly what the like inner. I mean, this is just being honest. Like this is what the inner side of my thighs look like, especially when I was like super lean when I did my physique show and I was like had barely any fat on me. Like when I would pinch my legs, like this is exactly what would happen. Like they would do this right here. So this is the crepiness is what she's saying. Like it just happens, and the leaner you get, the more your skin kind of does that. It's just because there is less fat in there, and it really is just the skin that is there. So when you pinch it, there's no fat for it like to fill it in almost is what it feels like, and so it just stays like that. And so my legs like did that a lot more than they do now because I have more fat on me. So this is a pretty normal thing that happens with like loose skin. Like you know that you're really lean and you don't have much fat left in you when your loose skin looks like this. Okay, so like this is loose skin. This is not extra fat. Like a lot of people are like, do I have loose skin or is it fat? Is it extra fat that I need to lose? Like this right here, that's loose skin. Like that's not fat. That is certainly loose skin when your skin is doing that.
But now I'm kind of looking at this going, maybe the crepiness has improved a little bit. Gosh, it is really hard to tell with that lighting. I definitely have improved my muscle tone in my arms with doing some lifting and doing the chicken bucket workout. Also losing some fat has helped. But as you can see, well, you can't see now. Sorry about that. I didn't realize that was like that. Anyway, this voiceover thing is really complicated. My arms do look a lot better this year than they did last year. They aren't my least favorite thing to look at anymore like they were when I did the first video.
It really is like, and this is important. I'm glad that she's bringing this up and she's saying that she's like been lifting and stuff because like this is why I am such an advocate for lifting in any capacity, because adding muscle will help. Like, and that is one thing. It will not make your loose skin go away. For the love of God, please don't think that I'm saying that, because people are like, oh man, if you just gained muscle, like you could fill in the loose skin. You guys, if I would have to gain like 100 pounds of muscle, and like that ain't happening, chief, unless I start getting on some steroids. All right. So like, it doesn't work like that, but like adding muscle does help just your body's shape. And when your body has a better shape, your skin falls in a better way that is maybe more aesthetic. Right. So yeah.
I still do have a lot. You can see the skin right here on the side of me. Like, it's ridiculous how it folds over right there. Shaving is like practically impossible. It is really hard to shave. Loose skin makes it really hard to do that.
Yes, it does. That is very true. Like, man, I'm not even going to go into it, but it does. It makes it harder.
So next we are going to show you my abdomen. You can see there is a drastic difference in my abdomen. I have obviously lost a lot more fatty tissue from my belly and my
So this is what I was explaining. Wow, this looks crazy. So if we look right here, and this is, so she's only lost 7 pounds, but who knows? Like she probably gained a little bit in muscle, and then she lost probably a little bit more in fat. And so it's very clear that a lot of that came from her abdomen, right? And so we can see right here what I was talking about earlier, the crepiness. Like, you know that it's loose skin when it starts doing this over here, okay? Like this is what true loose skin with not much fat inside of it looks like. Like the little folds, the little wrinkles, like they get much more pronounced because there's no fat to fill them in. Like it's the easiest way to tell, like, is this loose skin? Is this fat? Like when your skin starts doing this, 100%.
Dramatically worse. It looks so much like plastic. It is really easy to just like pull and grab, and like it's just really gross. Actually, my stomach skin is now my least favorite part of me. It used to be my arms, now it is my stomach skin. You can see how plasticky it looks now, and it's just really, really weird. I am happy though to see how much fatty tissue it looks like I have taken out of my abdominal area, which of course is the last place that it goes from, and it is the place I would like to lose it from. So that is awesome. I
mean, she's definitely like really done a lot of work. Like you could tell when she turned around here, like her belly was out a lot further than it was over here. So that really is incredible in just a year.
Definitely looking a lot more trim than I did last year, and that makes me happy. But as you can see, the skin is so much not pretty, at least not to me. My arms though do admittedly look a bit better than last year. I have to say, I'm looking at the arm definition going, hey, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. But my abdomen is definitely just bunches of loose, plasticky looking weird skin now. And, you know, I really think there is some improvement maybe from the autophagy, but literally I don't know that it would be like enough to make a difference over however many years I'd need to do it. And I'm worried that with so much intermittent fasting that I'm losing a lot of lean tissue. Here I'm going to show you.
Well, and it's just like, it's just so frustrating when people are like, yeah, if you do this, you will get rid of all your loose skin. It's like, dude, you really think that by eating a different way or fasting or whatever, like you will get rid of all of this and it will just disappear? Like, that's not how your body works. Like, it doesn't just like start to disappear and magically no longer be a part of you. Like, I don't know. It's just not how your body works. It's so frustrating when people think that, like, it's frustrating to me because I don't want people to have false hopes. Like, that's why it's frustrating to me. I don't, like, if you want to believe it, that's okay, I guess. But, like, I just want people to understand, like, hey, you're probably still going to have loose skin. And, like, I don't know.
My girls, they are just a bunch of saggy bags. I didn't show that last year, but yeah, it is not pretty in the girls department, but hey, obviously my bra still fits me, so yay. Next, I'm going to show you my thighs. You can see my thighs are a little trimmer, not a heck of a lot. There's really not much change in my thighs. The main change is in my abdomen. I haven't lost as much in my thighs as I was hoping. They are basically the same.
So this is pretty much, I would say, like, my legs are a little bit worse than hers. So my legs have a little bit more loose skin in the inner thigh, and it's just because, like, it's just where people like carry their weight, right? And so she probably didn't carry a lot of weight in her legs, right? Women usually don't as much as men do, because women are more pear-shaped, so they're like this, and then their legs are a little bit thinner, and then men are more like, I forget what the fruit type is, but like I carry a lot of weight in my legs. I did when I was bigger. I still have really big legs. Like, I've just always had big legs, and so because of that, I have a lot more loose skin in my leg department. You know what I'm saying? I got more loose skin there.
Measurements around that they were this time last year. I think there's like maybe a half an inch difference, if anything. The skin maybe looks a little smoother in this video, but that's because of the lighting. You can see I had really crappy lighting in the first video that was reflecting off the floor. I wasn't sure what time of day I did that. I tried really hard to make it as close as possible, but you can see I did not. You can see that my swimsuit bottoms fit a lot better, and you can see the definition in my muscle here on my thighs, which is awesome. I don't have a lot of fat left in my thighs. My thighs are basically 18 inches. It is almost all loose skin and just a tiny bit of fat right here up in the top area, but the rest of it is solid muscle and sinew and is looking pretty tight and good. I'm not super disappointed with my legs. I would like to maybe see what would happen if I got surgery, and maybe I could pull some of that up if I did a whole 360, but like I said, it's not something I can afford in the near future, but it is probably something that will be on the table. Okay, next, let us view the bottom roll. You can see I have lost a lot of fatty tissue in that. That makes me super happy.
Well, I mean, it just, like, it doesn't, again, like I said earlier, it just doesn't protrude as much as it did in this one. Like, you could just see it's way different.
I mean, after only going down 7 pounds in a year, basically, to see such a dramatic difference makes me super happy. It makes me really, really, really thrilled. I don't know how much lean tissue I've lost with the intermittent fasting.
So that's why it's like, Rachel just said, I can't believe that's only 7 pounds, but like, that's why it's so important. Like, body recomp is such a huge thing. Like, lifting and like adding muscle and like just training in a way that's not only focused on the scale. Because if she was only focused on the scale, and think about it, if you're like, it's only 7 pounds in a year, then yeah, of course that's not going to be very motivating. It's going to be very demotivating. But if instead you're like, I'm looking at other ways to find progress and to find like, okay, I'm making progress here because of this or that. Like, there are so many other things. That's why the scale, like, it's a great tool, but it's not the only tool. Like, there's so much more into it. Like, that's, I think, a big reason, like, for me, why I don't get super frustrated or like freaked out if I'm like a little bit heavier at one point. Like, it's just like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, there's so many other things that like you can be focused on while still maintaining your fitness and your weight loss goals.
But I can say definitely that my caloric deficit plus intermittent fasting has really helped. And considering I actually put on 20 pounds last year, and then took it back off just over the summer, it's pretty impressive how much difference there is. But you can see like how much I can grab of skin. There is just so much here. It is very plasticky looking. It's very wrinkly looking. It's very droopy. It's very shaky. And when I try and exercise, it definitely gets in the way. It's definitely hanging over and everything like that, which is really, really uncomfortable. Obviously, you can see and clogging and things like that. It bounces around. Obviously, it's dramatically different from last year. I could practically give birth to a baby from it last year. I still feel like I'm walking around looking like I'm pregnant because I just have this like big lump of stuff all over the front of me. So yeah, I can't say that I would see any skin improvement here in my belly area, but you know, it is a lot, obviously, better looking than it was last year. But yeah, very plasticky looking. That's the only word that I can think of. It's just, it looks like I'm covered in plastic. You can see my belly here now looking like I'm having a baby still. It's just kind of hanging there in the front of me. It's really frustrating. Makes it really uncomfortable.
This is why like wearing compression stuff when you're working out is really helpful if you have like a lot of have a lot of loose skin in your like in your stomach area. That's why I say like wearing compression stuff can really help with that, because it really can like make a really huge difference.
To like, you know, wear leggings. And okay, let's look at the back of me. You can see I lost a lot of back fat too. I would say the skin looks about the same. Obviously, I have taken some of that fat out, but the skin itself on my back is not horrible. You can see there is a lot I can still pull and play with. A 360 would take care of that as well. Obviously, I couldn't do a tummy tuck for this reason because I have so much fold over, especially at my bottom area, which I don't show in this video. But yeah, I would just say that it's...
Yeah, her back definitely looks a lot better, which or just in general it looks pretty good, but that's a lot of people don't really carry their weight in their back as much as they do in their front. So for me as well, I don't have much loose skin on my back like compared to like the front of my body.
It's pretty loose.
Well, there you go, folks. That is where I'm sitting with my loose skin right now. Admittedly, I was thrilled when I looked back at the actual video. I didn't realize that I looked that small, and I'm really a lot closer to completely thin than I thought I was, which is awesome. I do obviously still have a few spots where I've got some flotation fat, but to be completely honest, I am thrilled, absolutely thrilled with my progress. And
as you should be. I mean, you've done a freaking great job. Are you kidding me?
How I am looking, and also how I am progressing mentally and nutritionally in my journey. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you are new here, I hope that you will stick around and subscribe and join our family and keep an eye on my journey as I move forward into a whole new section of that and a new place and obviously in the future I will probably end up having surgery. I cannot see me being happy with this amount of loose skin for eternity. I really don't. Already it's starting to bother me greatly when I'm trying to exercise, when I'm dancing. It's just always in my way, and it makes me just super self-conscious. I feel like I constantly look pregnant because I have this big belly of rolls of...
The thing is like, I don't even want, like, I can tell that she almost feels like she has to explain why she wants to get the surgery. Like, I think if you just want to get the surgery because you're like, I think I'll look better, that is completely fine. Like, that is a totally fine and understandable reason they want to get the surgery. Nothing against it. Now, if you want to get it because you're like, it makes it hard for me to work out, I have like pain, obviously those things are fine as well. But if it's like literally, hey, I just want to get surgery because I don't like how it looks, that's fine. Like, you shouldn't have to explain yourself.
Of skin on the front of me, but it is nice to see that you can see my progress. You can see how far I really have come. I have literally lost 2 normal sized human beings. Like, if you took 2 of my daughter and stood them together, I literally took 2 of them off of my body. It's insane, absolutely insane. And I'm so thrilled at my progress, and I'm so thrilled with where I am in my journey, and I hope that you guys will stick around and become friends. And yeah, I guess that's everything I've got for you today. Don't forget to check out all the great information in the About section below on how you can support the channel and how you can also get started on your own keto journey for free. All the information is in the About section below. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. We'll talk to you all again soon.
I mean, that was a fantastic video. I 100% would encourage you guys to go check out her channel and go subscribe and go support her, because I think that was very cool for her to bring that up. That stuff is really not easy to talk about, and I think that's important that she's you know, speaking out, or like speaking about this thing that seems like a lot of people say works really well, but there really isn't much evidence for it. And she was someone that did it for over a year, and you know, the results there showed. And so I think more talk about loose skin and like real honest people that have been through it is only going to be good. So I think it's really awesome that she shared this video.